Welcome back to the M19 Podcast. I'm your host, Javi Chavez. Today, we're here with J-Mac. How you doing?
What's up, my man?
Cool. What's the legal name for the people?
John McDonough.
Okay,
but nobody calls me John. It's all J-Mac.
All right, J-Mac. So what do you do and how long have you been doing it?
I am a recovering financial advisor. So I've been in the financial services industry since 2001.
Okay.
In 2015, I started focusing exclusively on large life insurance structures for tax mitigation, asset protection, liquidity planning for business owners, high net worth individuals, entrepreneurs, and the like.
Mm-hmm. And fast forward to today, where's the business at revenue-wise, team headcount, et cetera?
Yeah, so revenue-wise, in 2025, we had over $4 million of profit down to the company, which is
I like how you mentioned profit.
Yeah.
That's important.
Revenue is a number people follow, but profitability is the only thing that matters, right?
Absolutely.
So really good year in 2025. The business now is focusing quite a bit on proactive and reactive tax mitigation structures. We're finding a lot of our potential clients or existing clients are having liquidity events and they're facing large capital gains liabilities. They're having massive income years, K1s, W-2 years, and their CPA firm or their CPA that they're working with is just overworked, overwhelmed, looking in the rearview mirror, helping them file, tax forms and compliance forms, and there's not a whole lot of strategic tax planning that's going on. So a lot of business right now is focused on proactive tax mitigation with some reactive tax mitigation as well. And then using those dollars that we save that would otherwise go to the federal government, using those dollars to get into a liquidity structure or an asset protection structure, which is life insurance, to use the federal government's dollars to fund those vehicles.
Why life insurance versus other strategies?
Other strategies fit. Life insurance is, from a true death benefit perspective, life insurance is the only asset that shows up in the form of cash when someone needs it most. So when you have an ultra high net worth family, you have a family estate above the estate tax exclusion amount, the IRS wants that tax due 9 months after date of death in the form of cash. And so life insurance provides that liquidity so you don't have to sell business, you don't have to sell PE, you don't have to get a loan, you don't have to do a fire sale on the estate. Life insurance provides that liquidity. Additionally, in the Internal Revenue Code, Section 7702 of the Internal Revenue Code provides tax-deferred growth, tax-exempt distributions when you can overfund and properly structure a life insurance vehicle. So it becomes an alternative asset class in a broad portfolio that someone might have, from real estate to PE to stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. But life insurance is that tax-free sleeve that most people don't know about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so why do you think you've been able to differentiate yourself and grow so quickly versus some of these other guys who have been in the game for so long?
Well, I've been in the game for 25 years, so I wouldn't say so quickly. It's like, it's an overnight success, but you've been doing it for 25 years.
Yep. So more hockey stick type growth recently, right?
So the more specialized I got, the greater the slope of the trajectory was with revenue and profitability. You can't be a master of all to people and expect to make really good income, not in the financial services world, right? You have general financial advisors and they do a really good job. But when you start specializing in the financial services sector, and when you start specializing in a very structured niche in terms of where taxes are being applied, how to mitigate those legally, ethically, morally, and then how to create liquidity for families, I'm talking life insurance, that's where I was able to see the greatest trajectory. So for the last 10 years, I've been refining the specialization of working with business owners, entrepreneurs, high net worth individuals.
That's smart. Yeah, because there's riches and niches. You've heard that said. And so the more focused, do you ever feel like there's going to be a time where you want to get a little bit more diverse, or are you just going to double down, triple down on exactly what's working?
No, I was diverse. So I was doing stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, life insurance, and I didn't feel like I was extremely knowledgeable in any one of those areas. I knew a lot, but I didn't know the breadth and the depth of any one of those areas. So I think I will only get more and more specialized as we move forward.
Got it. So what's the vision for the company through the rest of the year?
Well, we want to help save as many business owners and professionals as possible unnecessary tax loss. It's a very inefficient dollar. So people talk about this. We were having a conversation about this the other night. You know, investment advisors, stockbrokers, financial advisors, they talk about how they can beat the market, right? Beat the S&P 500, try to get 12, 13, 14% per year. That's cool and that's helpful. But where the most inefficient dollars are in a business owner's overall financial life is on those wasted tax dollars that are going unnecessary to the government. So there's a lot of trust in CPAs. There's a lot of trust in CPA firms. They're called the trusted advisors, but they are not, as a whole, now this isn't true for everyone in the industry, but as a whole, they are reactive, looking backwards. How did you do last year?
Versus how do we protect?
Versus how do we strategically plan going forward? And so the vision for the company is trying to get and have conversations proactively with as many people that are facing a liquidity event, preparing for the exit, having a knockout banner year, and they're going to just make a ton of money. But how do they protect themselves, mitigate that tax, and apply that towards legacy planning?
So how do you acquire most of your business? Is it through referrals or?
Yeah, it's mostly through referrals. So the network of business owners, so I'm a member of obviously M19, which we're going to talk about. I'm a member of Vistage Worldwide, which is a CEO group. I'm very active in my church and in my community, but also amongst the members of M19 that's starting to, spread and the word that's starting to get out. So I have my existing financial advisors that I've worked with throughout the country, throughout the years that bring opportunities and my own connections as well.
That's great. And so you've obviously been part of a lot of masterminds, it sounds like, over the years. Why'd you join M19?
I love golf. I love business.
Yeah.
And I saw, this is a true story, I saw one Instagram ad with Ryan. I'd never seen Ryan before, never heard of Ryan before, didn't know who he was. But the Instagram ad said, do you like golf? Do you like business? And do you like to talk about it? And I'm like, I'm in. Yeah. So that one ad, I registered, got a phone call back. Within a week, I was signed up, and I had already planned to go to it.
I love it. Yeah. And how long have you been in the community?
This is my second trip. Pebble Beach is my second trip. My first trip was to Pinehurst.
Nice.
I joined.
Yeah, not a bad first trip, huh?
No. Pinehurst is amazing. So I think I joined in January of 26, and so this is already my second trip.
Nice. And in that first trip, did you talk to me about the connections that you've made, kind of some of the takeaways that you had from that first trip to now?
I'm laughing because Jake's back there, but I've met some guys, Jake being one of them, Grayson being another, Brett's another one. I've met some guys that I've only known for a few months, but it feels like I've known them for years. Like the mentality of, we're business owners, we're entrepreneurs, we're high A personalities, we're big, everyone's big in their faith, everyone's big in their family, everyone's big in their finances, and just being able to openly talk about those things, being able to have real conversations with people that I don't have to worry, are you going to steal my ideas? Are you going to try to undercut me? Do you really even understand what I'm talking about? None of that exists here. It's when I'm in my Vistage group, I love my Vistage group members, but the connection is simply around business. This is a connection around life, and business happens to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's what I've seen too. It's like everybody, just through the ecosystem, everyone's aligned, and you almost get to skip like 2 or 3 steps that you normally would in building a relationship because you already have the connection of business. Everyone here is doing at least 7 figures. You're already connected on the golf, obviously, which is super fun. But then because of just the network, like you said, people, they're deep in their faith, they're deep in all the other things. Like I think the majority of people are parents, the majority of people are, married, and so you already attract that similar demographic, which I love.
At breakfast this morning, met a brand new member, already connected. That trust was embedded, and he was like, when he asked what I did, and I told him, he's like, man, I really need to talk to you. At the same breakfast, the conversation shifted. So I have a 15-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old daughter, and this member has a 14-year-old daughter, and how are you dealing with that relationship? What's the dynamics there?
Yeah,
and then the very next conversation at the same breakfast was about golf and strokes, and are there vanity handicaps versus sandbagging handicaps? So that was a perfect breakfast for me because it went from faith, family, golf to business, and it was just bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, it's like all the things that you're passionate about wrapped up into one. And yeah, I absolutely love it. So I know you mentioned Jake, you mentioned a couple other connections that you've had. Are there any key takeaways or key things that you've really walked away with from this group so far?
I feel like, and I don't know this to be true, but I feel like if there was any issue I was dealing with from a business standpoint, from a family dynamic standpoint, that in the mastermind session, if I truly got vulnerable and brought that up in the mastermind, that issue would be processed, dealt with, and there would be recommendations on how to overcome it. I get that feeling here. So that trust and that experience is embedded in just the general, it's the underlying thread that I think is holding everything together.
Yep. So, and you've already attended a mastermind session in the past. Obviously, we're going to do that again tomorrow. Going into that session, was there something that you're really trying to walk away with that got answered, or something that you saw in those groups that was a breakthrough, whether for you or for somebody else?
Yeah, and I mean, this is probably a little bit of a selfish answer, but I was trying to see who else is in this group. What kind of guys are in here? What kind of advice are they going to give? Is it jaded? Is it tilted? Is it slanted to benefit them? And I brought up one issue to process. I think Ryan was sitting at the table when I actually brought this up about an online academy that I'm putting together for financial advisors to teach them on how to close 6-figure target premium cases on a consistent, predictable, scalable method that they've never done before. But I bring that up into the group and I'm like, I'm having problems with this, I'm having problems with that. And the advice that I got back was advice that you pay thousands of dollars for on how to fix it. I went back and implemented it, and it's already changed the trajectory of the academy. And the guy that gave me that advice, Will, said, "Hey man, how's it going? Did you do what we talked about? We had a one-on-one session afterwards. Did you implement it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I did this, this, and this." He's like, "Great. Well, when you get to the next step, let me know." So, and that was my first experience in a mastermind. So it wasn't people holding back for the benefit of themselves. It was dumping everything out to help everybody else.
For sure, because there's value in like a seminar style or like a presentation type style. But then when you get a lot of smart people, a lot of people who have done great things in business, great things in life, and are still growing, the game just changes. Because like you said, there's going to be somebody who might have experienced something in the past or might have been able to just encounter this problem and give you advice, and that's great that you're implementing it.
Well, I also think it's pretty cool. This group is a bunch of straight shooters. There's not a lot of filtering going on with the advice or the feedback, and I feel like if somebody came here for the wrong reasons, they would get filtered out, pushed aside, and sniffed out pretty quick.
Yeah, I agree, and that's we should end up. Thankfully, we've been able to attract the right people. We haven't had too many people coming in for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, for anybody on the fence who's thinking about joining M19, who might be watching this, what do you got for them?
If you're on the fence because you think the entry fee is a barrier to entry, you're thinking about it the wrong way, right? Because you're going to spend that money. You're going to invest that money. The question is, where is it going to go if it doesn't go in here? To get access to this type of people, to get access to this caliber of a business owner, to get access to the different variety of experience levels that this group has, it is, and if you love golf, I think golf has to be a passion.
Absolutely.
If you're doing this and you kind of like golf, this isn't the group. Like you got to love golf. And I know Jake was talking about you got to be a good golfer. You don't, but you need to be true to your handicap. If you're not true to your handicap, you will get exposed.
Absolutely.
In this group.
Yeah.
But if you're on the fence and you're questioning, should I do it? Should I don't do it? I challenge you. Invest. Go to one trip. I told myself I was going to give it 3 trips. I think it only takes 1 trip to figure out if you like it or not.
If you get on a trip, you will absolutely love it. And if you don't, I got nothing for you because, it's been an absolute blast. And also just the education piece, the learning, the development, again, the guys that you meet. But just pivoting to business specifically, for anybody watching, like what would you say is like the single best piece of business advice that you've either received or that you can give?
Bro, that's a deep question.
I know it's a deep question. That's why take your time.
I wasn't prepared for that. What's coming to me first, and I don't know if it's the best answer, but it feels right, is don't ever stop learning. And I think learning from an academic standpoint, but also learning from other people, get your ego out of the way and just keep learning to be better. It is what you do. And like we talked about, for me, keep specializing even more, keep niching down even more, because they say, there's riches and niches, but don't stop learning. And I think as business owners, you have a banner year, you have the best year ever, you made a ton of money. Dude, I know it all. I'm at the top of the mountain. I think if you stop learning, especially with the speed of information and technology right now, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah.
So don't stop learning.
That's great advice, especially because, like you said, things are moving so quickly right now that the business landscape 6 months ago is different than it is right now across industries. Some industries move faster than others, but things are changing, I think, more quickly than they ever have before. So if you ain't developing, if you're not growing, you're dying. So I think that's
100%.
Great advice. So J-Mac, where can people find out more about you?
At JMac Wealth, really easy. At JMac Wealth on Instagram, at JMac Wealth on YouTube. You can find me on LinkedIn, and then at jmacwealth.com. If you're not my friend, you call me John. John McDonough.
There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.